Hello and welcome to my Blender Navmesh editing tutorial for Battlefield 2. This is part of a PDF, which the link's in the description below. So you've got to follow through this PDF to get to this point where you'll be editing the Navmesh. So at this stage, you should have your edit mode folder with your Gulf of Oman map, and those are the AI pathfinding files. And then in the Navmesh folder, under Gulf of Oman, you'll have these output files here, which you made with create_navmesh.bat. And what we're going to edit is the infantry and these vehicle OBJ files, these 3D object files. So here we are in game, that Navmesh that you've created, and this is one of the problems you'll find with Navmeshing, is the vehicles will get stuck on hills like this, and they won't drive away. The infantry will get out, and then they'll die. That's because the Navmesh is cutting underneath this hill instead of following the terrain over it. If the Navmesh gets about a meter away from the terrain, the vehicles and infantry won't be able to drive on it. So we've got to fix that. So here we are in the editor, about the same place. Here, I like to view grid with texture mode in the render menu here, just to give you a better look of how the land's curving. Now you could also just use grid mode like that. And then to turn on the nav meshes, go down to AI, toggle draw AI, do it again, AI, and we'll start with the infantry nav mesh. You can see, if we go under this hill, it's cutting below it. So now we'll open up Blender. So this is Blender. You get a splash screen like that, just click anywhere to get rid of that. We don't want these. Highlight those, right click, delete. And we're going to import, this is your navmesh folder, we're going to import this infantry.obj, this 3D object, into Blender. So go File, Import, Wavefront.obj, and then you'll navigate to where you need to be. So we can go Desktop, Battlefield 2 shortcut, Navmesh, Work, Gulf of Oman, GTS Data, Output, there it is there, Infantry OBJ, and click Import Wavefront down here, and there it is. Now the next time you have to import, we'll just do that again. You go down here to Recent, Output, there it is, Gulf of Oman, so you don't have to keep finding it. Just go down here each time. So to zoom in, zoom out, mouse wheel. You can hold the middle mouse button to sort of pan it around. I like to put my mouse on this navigation gizmo, hold left mouse button, and you can drag it around like this. And if you push Z, that's looking top down. But what you'll notice is it's back to front. So we want that to be minus Z like that. We're actually looking from underneath, but it's just the way the object files are made. They're sort of a mirror image. So you see the land's actually below, but it's easier to work in that minus Z axis. This is obviously we can't edit anything at the moment, so we've got to go up here to object mode. We want edit mode. And now we're seeing all these triangles which make up the nav mesh. The best way to navigate around is to click on a vertex and push the decimal point on your number pad. Don't push the full stop, the decimal point, and it will zoom you in there. So if you want to just move around the map, just press the decimal dot, select something, decimal dot. And there's three things you can select. A vertex, which is a dot, this edge icon, which is the lines, and a face. Now I can select faces. And again, just the dot to move around. That'll zoom in on it. The decimal point dot. So we're going to go to vertex select mode. And we're going to find roughly where we were. So back in the editor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and go create control point. Give it a name. It drops a flag there. Well, there's different ways to do this, but this is sort of the method I came up with. And this control point has these coordinates here, this flag. If you go back in here, press N, it pulls up this little menu here, and you'll see that each of these vertexes has a coordinate, and they actually correspond to this. So what we want to do is we want to find somewhere which is about minus 62, 274. So minus 62. It's going to be in here somewhere. So if I select that vertex there, hold shift, left click. Now I've selected both those vertices, right click and go subdivide. And it's put a dot, a vertex in the middle. And I want to copy these coordinates, minus 62, minus 274, just to the nearest meter. Way up. I should have been here. So Control Z to undo. Undo, 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 undo. So let's try here. Selecting both of those. Click, left click, shift, left click, right click, subdivide. Minus, what was it, 72? Or 62? And 23274. And then the height I round up to the nearest 0.1 of a meter, so that'll be 36.5. 36.5. Like that. Now I can't leave it like this because that's a four-sided face. And that's a four-sided face. They need to be three-sided or it won't work. So just select the vertex there, select that one, and go right-click. Where is it? Connect vertex path, or you just press J, right? So click, shift, left click, J, and it'll put a dot, a vertex up here. So that's not really going to be enough to do the hill. So I'll put another flag here. We're trying to minimize the amount of flags you use for this. So put one there. There's no need to put one between these two, it's a straight line. Might put one here. We'll just do the ridge at this stage. So I'll just do these three. I'll put these two in as well. 50, 280. Minus 50. It's in the wrong spot. You can't have it overlap at all. So I have to change that. It's got to go in here. Two eight four. 36.4. 36.4. Sometimes it does disappear, the vertex. I don't really want to join to there. I sort of want to join across here. So I'll go to line here, highlight that, right click, and I'll go dissolve edges, not delete. Delete will do that. Control Z to undo, dissolve edge. See, that's appeared now. It's weird how it does that. So left click that, shift left click, J. Because this is the top of the ridge, I think I'll, no, I'll go like that. I'll go there. Okay, so we got that one there done. Do a last one over here. 84,264. You can sort of see the Navmesh here and sort of, well, you can't really see it under here, but sometimes it helps. 84,264. It's going to be down here somewhere. Minus 84, minus 264. No, it's going to be up there. The height of that is 36.1. 36.1. And I want these to join because that's going along the ridge. So let's get rid of this edge. Go to edge select, left click that, right click, dissolve edges, back to vertex select, click, shift left click, J. I might get rid of that one too. Dissolve edge, back to vertex select, left click, shift left click, J. Maybe that one too. You can see the shades. Just click that and pressing decimal point to move around. See that? How that's quite steep, and the color changes like that. It's a good giveaway. That's not the greatest. So we'll get rid of that. J. So it's starting to look a little bit better. You can see it's sort of following the ridge line. You could do it from the top like that, but I find it confusing to navigate around, so I just do it from minus Z. The other way to move around, which I never really use, is to hold shift, middle mouse button, and then just drag with the middle mouse button. That I find easy just to click on a vertex like that and press dot, the decimal point. So we've done that for the infantry. Now we're going to export it back. So go back to your object mode and then go File, Export, Wavefront. Output, remember this is recent, so that's the same folder we're in. Infantry, and just check. It's infantry here, we're in Gulf of Oman, infantry here. This is infantry. You don't want to put the infantry on top of your vehicle or anything like that. Your faces have got this 47658 tries. This is how many faces are triangles, so these should always match. That doesn't match. I've missed something. Don't export it, cancel. So let's go back to edit mode. We've got to find with its four-sided faces. And I can see it there. But let's say we've been editing around the place, and it's a bit like finding a needle in a haystack. So what you do is you go select mode faces, select by trait, faces by sides. It's shown it up there already, but you'd go greater than 3, enter. And then, let's say we're over here, you push your decimal point again, and it will take you to where those are. So we know they're there. So we go back to vertex select, left click, shift left click, J. And you'll see these numbers are almost the same. We've got to do the same here. Select those two, J for join, and now these match these numbers. So every face is a triangle. Right, so now let's export again. Object, File, Export, Wavefront. Go to our recent output folder, infantry, faces and tries match, object 1 of 1, infantry. Double check it, 1 of 1, these match, infantry. Yep, looks good. Export. Okay, then you'll go File, New, General. Don't save, that's just saving the project. You don't need the project. You've already exported the OBJ, so don't save that. These will pop up again. We don't want those. Those are actually objects. You see down here, you got objects 1 of 3. If you leave them there, you'll export them with your vehicle or infantry OBJ, and it won't work. So always get rid of those at the start. Delete. File, import, wavefront, output, and now we're going to do the vehicle. -Z, edit mode, scroll wheel to zoom, dot to move around, and then in the editor, render AI will turn off for infantry, render AI, turn on the vehicle. And then I'll go and do the same for these, and then we'll do the next part. Right, so here we are. I've finished this is the vehicle.obj. 1, 2, 3 points corresponding to these flags. So there's the ridge line. Object mode, file, export, wavefront, output. Doing vehicle this time. I'm going to check it. Go for my command folder, vehicle. I'm out again. Where's that? Yep. There it is. Okay. Export. They match, 1 of 1. Looks good. Export. You can exit Blender now. No, sorry, don't want to save that. Quit, don't save. Save these flags. You'll end up with flags all over the map, but you should have a backup copy of your gameplay objects. So I just made a copy of it there, and there should be a copy in the final version that you're actually playing. So I'll exit this. And now we'll run fix navmesh.bat. This is all on the PDF, how to do this. You should have done this already. I'll delete these. You don't have to, but okay, edit mod, golf of the man. It's going to take those OBJ files and make them into these pathfinding files that the game uses. Okay, so it's generated these pathfinding files here. We'll go back into this is in the edit mod. We'll go back into the editor. So here we are back in the editor, render, AI, toggle draw AI, render AI, and we'll check out the inventory Navmesh. And you can check how the Navmesh sits against these flags. So you can see it's coming up to the base of the flags now. You can see the flags from underneath. So it's following that terrain much better. We'll have a look at the vehicle. You can just see it poking through the ridge there. You've still got problems down here. If the vehicles drive down here, it won't work. So you'd have to maybe put a flag there to fix that in the editor. But you get the idea. So I'll save. So let's put these over into the play mod version. So this is the version we're actually playing. And we'll fire up the game and see how it goes. So here we are again, roughly where we were last time. See what they do now. And they're driving. So that's fixed up that area. Like I said, you probably have to fix up that area down there and wherever else they get stuck. I like to have free cam on so I can go around the map and watch everything. And if something gets stuck, I'll just take a screenshot of it. And then I can go back through the screenshots and fix them up.
All clear. Position under control. Out.
So the last thing to do, once you've checked it all works in game, is to go into your Navmesh work folder, Golf Oman, the output folder, and just back it up. And just do this periodically, so I just copy that over there. I just number them sequentially like that, because it takes a lot of time, and if you make a mistake later on, you don't want to have to start all over again, so it's good to just keep a running backup of your object files, your whole output folder. So that was a fairly quick rundown on how to use flags to sort of, I guess, plot the terrain in the editor, and then transfer those coordinates over to the Blender coordinates to edit the Navmesh. In the PDF, there's a chapter, a Blender reference. So these are sort of it's just this cheat sheet of what you need. So use that if you get stuck on, just can't quite remember what buttons to press. I'll just run through some of these now. You notice how that cuts off your view? If you want to change that, you can just press N, go down to view, and this end you can change it to something 5,000 meters. So I won't do that. The problem you'll have is vehicles will sometimes get stuck on corners of buildings. Where's one? See here, it sort of cuts across the corner. So you don't always have to place a flag down. Let's just find this place. Go to -Z. Looks like it's there. Yeah, see that shape? So here, so what you can do is left click, shift left click, subdivide, highlight that and just press G. And you can don't hold it, just press G once and you can move it around like that and then left click again and it'll drop it. And then of course you have to, that's now four-sided face, so you'd have to, oops, join that. And when you press G, it'll move around in whatever axis. So if you're in some weird angle like this and press G, yeah, it'll do that. So I'm just going to press escape to let that go. Just make sure you're in the -Z or the Z axis when you do that. Now for faces, let's say we want to add a face. Let's just add a face down here. You need to select, obviously you're not going to add a face in here because there's a fence there. But if you ever do need to add a face for any reason, you just select the vertex, shift left click, shift left click. I've got 3 vertices now, and press F, and it puts a face in. The thing you have to check though when you do that, click up here on overlays, click face orientation. You'll see it's red on one side and blue on the other. Sometimes, so faces have like a top and a bottom to them. So the AI has to walk on the red top, I guess. If it's blue, it won't work. Sometimes Blender will make this blue on that side and red on that side. So if that happens, you press Alt plus N, and this menu will come up, and you click flip. See how it's red now and blue? So just check if you've been adding a lot of faces. Go to this overlays and this face orientation, and make sure they're all the right way. So I'll just put that back, Alt N, flip. Let's turn that back off. And these colors obviously mean something. That green is for ground, the yellow is shallow water, and the blue is water. Sometimes the vehicles will drive into the water when you don't want them to. But for whatever reason, if you need to change the material, you go down here to this materials property, and it's got ground, ignore ladder, ground, water, deep water. So you just select a face. I want it to be deep water, and then click assign. Now it's blue. Water, assign. Now it's yellow. The other thing you can do is merge vertices. So I usually use this when I'm just tidying up edges and trying to make them straight. Say you're just trying to straighten this up. Click that, left click, shift left click that. Merge at first. Merge at first. Could delete that. Delete that. Merge at first. It's just straightening that up. You won't use it all the time, but it's quite handy. Now some do's and don'ts. Don't obviously have your faces around the wrong way, which I've mentioned. But just be really careful if you're going to use that G option. If you overlap like that, it will not like that. So don't overlap your edges like that, your vertices. The other thing it doesn't like, I delete these faces, it won't like that. It won't like a face on its own, not joined to the Navmesh. It won't work. It'll crash the game when you try and run that. So make sure you delete everything. If you delete a whole lot of, like a massive area, like this, faces, it looks alright. I'll go bigger. See how I've deleted those faces, but you still get these, you can't see the, you see that line, you see that edge, you see these vertices are still there. So be careful when you're deleting a whole lot of faces. You get these little faces here. I'll just go to that. It's a very thin face. It doesn't pick them up sometimes with the select tool. So go back to the vertices and it shows up the dots better. So you have to select those and delete those. So there's some there. So be careful when you see, that's just a straight line. There's no face there. That'll crash it. So be careful when you're deleting big chunks or doing anything like that, which is why you want to back things up and just do a little at a time, because you may not find that. See, it's just a vertex on its own, but the faces and the tries match, so you won't even know where that is. So that's about it, really. I hope you found it helpful. Like I said, it's part of a bigger PDF tutorial here. So that's in the link description below, the link for that. And good luck with your Navmesh editing for Battlefield 2.